Hey, guys, thanks for taking the call. I know you're getting short on
Just 2 players have been ruled out for the Bills. They get ready to head to Denver for the divisional round on Saturday. Max Hairston and Jordan Poyer are those players who are going to be out, and then 5 players are questionable. Terrell Bernard, DeMar Hamlin, Ty Johnson, Ed Oliver, and Curtis Samuel. Johnson was an upgrade today, going to a limited participant after being a did not practice for the first 2 days of the week, and then Samuel, he finishes out the week as a full participant in all 3 practices. And the Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Do stay tuned. We'll get more on the Bills. Sal Capaccio joining the show in just a little while at 5 p.m. Around the league, we are still waiting on the official word, but all signs are pointing to John Harbaugh taking the New York Giants head coaching job and being the first domino to fall in the head coaching front. It is also expected to be a 5-year deal. And then Texans wide receiver Nico Collins remains in concussion protocol. Houston is going to be on the road versus New England on Sunday, while for the Patriots, cornerback Christian Gonzalez was out of his red non-contact jersey today at practice. He is also going through the concussion protocol process. To the Sabres, they are in action tonight, wrapping up their home back-to-back, and it is 05-06 season reunion night, a team that did make it all the way to the conference finals. Game time is at 7, pregame at 6. The Sabres are hosting Montreal, a team they are going to play 2 more times this month. And then 9 other games tonight in the NHL. Some notables include, also at 7, Penguins hosting the Flyers. At 8, the Bruins have the Kraken in town. 9 p.m. sees the Islanders out west versus the Oilers. Then at 9:30, Maple Leafs, they are out in the desert to take on Las Vegas. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet, celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
The Tampa Bay Rays, they're defunct.
They don't exist anymore?
They don't exist anymore. I just
the
decided
Red Sox?
Today we should make a call, let them know. But I just decided they're out. I would rather watch the guy, the painting guy. Who's the painting guy?
Bob Ross.
I'd rather watch Bob Ross than watch my favorite baseball team play in Tampa.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
What a matchup. It is bracket season. What a matchup. Your favorite team playing a game in Tampa, or Bob Ross painting a lake and a mountain.
Give me the lake all day long.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
That's funny. Did you get a text from Sneaky Joe this week about Big Four sports coaches / managers that have longer tenure than Sean McDermott?
I did not.
He probably talked about that on the air, but you're up early. Maybe you would have heard him do it. I didn't. I don't know if he did.
No, I didn't. I was up very early today.
What's very early? 5 something.
Okay, sorry, 6:30.
6:30. You know what? Is that very early?
It is when you don't have any reason to be up at 6:30.
No kids, no golf.
Right.
No regimen that needs to happen by 6:30.
No. Like if I get
smoking meat.
If I get up by 8 or 8:30, I have plenty of time to have my coffee, do a little prep, work out for 90 minutes to 2 hours, and catch a nap, and then here I am.
I'm not throwing shade, by the way.
I understand. I understand.
I'm not up at 6:30. I'm awake sometimes.
But I had something to do at 8 this morning, so I set an alarm for early enough to make sure I was up for that, and sort of, it was a radio thing in Toronto, and I wanted to be, I didn't want to wake up 2 minutes before they called and be like,
no, do you warm up?
Yeah,
you sort of talk to yourself out loud?
I did not.
I do that.
I probably should have, because I think that would be good.
When I'm first thing in the morning going on a station somewhere else, I'll get up if I don't get up before that, say 5 minutes earlier, I'll be like, hey, everybody. And just sort of do that a few times.
I felt like the coffee and just a little let me just see what's going on in the world kind of thing. But I turned out I woke up much earlier than that even, and just was like, whatever, what am I going to do? Try to sleep for another 45 minutes? This is stupid. Just get up. And I loved it. I loved it so much that I had the thought, even though I have no reason, I will set an alarm in the spring and summer to make sure I'm up to go play golf at 7 a.m. So that's a 5:30 alarm. But
all that warm-up time.
At this time, it takes a while to stretch this body out, brother. I got to tell you. So I like to get loose before I get to that first tee.
Sure.
And but I
different
did.
ways of defining that.
I liked it as it turned out. I mean, there was snow, so I had snow blowing and other stuff to do. But bottom line, I was sitting there at 7 a.m. enjoying my coffee, knowing I had an hour before these people were calling me, and I was sitting there thinking, I should just set an alarm and get up. I like this.
What do you do, though? Other than just sit there and tell yourself that this is good. Because like, people who get up early feels like they're healthier than people who stay up late.
Yes.
They don't tell you, nobody tells you, stay up until 1:15 in the morning to get healthy.
No.
They tell you get up.
Right.
And like when I was on the Awaken program, like within an hour, do I want to give up secrets? Is it secrets? Is it like just, this is the program. Joe's on it now. They tell you, make sure you eat something within an hour of when you wake up.
Okay.
To get your body, on the move. Now I'm just like way far away from that. But that was what they would say, like eat pretty early once you wake up. So everybody says early equals healthy, right? Like it's a good idea.
That's why I think it's.
But what do you do? Where do you go? Do you walk around the neighborhood 7 times? Like, is that what you're supposed to do? Is that what I should be doing at 7 in the morning? Is just walking up and down the street?
What I could do, weather
when
permitting,
it's 15 degrees?
Weather permitting, what I could do if I'm up that early enough. Lately, when it's nice enough, today was not such a day. But if I feel like it's not going to be swampy or muddy, I will take Fred to the golf course at Delaware Park. I live close enough to the park that I will walk there with him and walk a few holes and let him run without the leash on. He's pretty good, really good, actually. Like, he comes, doesn't get distracted and run away to the other dogs that are there.
That's good.
Stays near. When I call him, he comes. So I've been rewarding him by doing that as frequently as I can. But when I do that, that's an hour or so. If I'm going to walk to the park and walk down 5, up 18, and then back around, look, I take an hour.
Then you get home and you want to sleep.
Well, what I'm getting to here is I could do that walk and work out, but the walk takes the place of the workout, and I could do both, and I think I would like doing both because I love the walk, but I also really my brain and my body crave that, like, 90 minutes on the bicycle.
You know how Josh Mora...
So it would be healthy. That's the point.
It would be. You know how Josh Mora and Dennis Williams have that podcast about life after 50?
Yeah.
They sound younger than we do right now.
Oh, I know. I talked to them, I don't know, at some point in the summer, I think.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they definitely...
Oh, what do I do? My kids are... Like, today, my kids are teenagers. They're in high school, but it was a snow day. So, like, all right, well, I got Matthew Collar at 11. Let's get up at 10.
Right.
Did Matthew at 11, plowed the driveway. Now I'm here. Took me a long time to get in.
Well, look at us.
Look at us. Sneaky Joe. Back to the original question. Joe had a list of coaches, managers, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, that have been in their current jobs longer than Sean McDermott has. There are 9. And his original question for me was, how many do you think you could name? Do you think you could do well at guessing from this list? And my quick response was, because I don't like to make Joe wait, even though, it's probably way too early for me when he's texting me, is I don't think so because of the NBA. And he said, no, don't worry about that. There are only 2 from the NBA, and they're both gettable.
I know who one of them is in the NBA because I saw something. It was not pertaining to Joe's question, but I saw one NBA coach. I just saw a tweet of him being asked about how long he's been where he is, and I went, "Oh, okay. Well, that's a long time."
Okay, well, hang on. So
now I better be right.
I pushed off the question, and then I never like to, disappoint him. I want to just sort of take a shot at it, and I said, "Well, all right. Here's a list. I got to 8 names. He wanted 9. There are 9 answers. I got to 8. I'm like, I'm done. And it turns out I got 5 right. Not including the number 1 guy.
I think that's going to be better than I will do. if I'm about to try to do this, because I don't think I'm.
You don't have to.
I don't think I'm going to be real good.
I can just tell you if you don't want to.
I might want to try.
Who's the guy you're talking about?
Spoelstra.
Yes. So he's number one.
Okay. Right.
And I didn't think of him.
Yeah.
Eric Spoelstra.
I would not have either, but I think today, while I was up between 7 and 8 a.m. waiting for the Fan 590 people to call me from Toronto, I may have come across a tweet of him being asked about his longevity in one place.
Okay, he's number one in the Big Four sports.
Then I went like, okay, that guy.
You know who I guessed? Popovich.
And that's not going on anymore?
I guess not.
He stepped away? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess health reasons. He's still
right.
officially the coach, Joe says. But
I think that's right.
I wanted credit.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, so that didn't count.
Yeah.
But Spoelstra is one of two from the NBA. And I got the other one, and you would too if you had more time to think about it.
Okay.
Kind of obvious, kind of easy.
Oh, yeah, okay. Kerr.
Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for the clue. I mean, really, saying it's kind of obvious made it easy there.
That's it. Two from the NBA, one from the NFL. Now that Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh are out.
Well, that's Andy Reid.
Andy Reid, right. Hockey has two. There are two NHL coaches who have been in their current jobs longer than Sean McDermott has been in his, which, of course, is, Bills fans, 2017. So prior to that, I'm not sure if it's by a day or by a decade, but prior to whenever it was, McDermott came on. They've both won cups.
Okay,
of course, right?
John Cooper, one of them?
John Cooper, yes.
That was first guy I thought of.
In fact, it goes Spoelstra, Reid, Cooper, Joe says, of all the sports.
Won a cup and still, he's still in that job.
Yes. And I could not pick him out of a lineup.
It's going to be the Colorado guy.
Yes.
Yeah, Bednar.
Jared Bednar.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
2017 to now. And they won a Stanley Cup in 2022.
Right.
And they're always good. So, nice for him.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it's because of him. Do you think so? I mean, is he good? I have no opinion at all. Is he great?
He must be.
I mean, he must be?
He's managing a team of ultra superstar guys.
But
at least three guys that are world class, like top tier guys.
Sure, but he has the touch.
He must
probably. He must.
He must be good.
He must know how to rotate the goalies and
no question.
Get them to play the way they should play. You want the rest, or you want me to tell you?
He's done it with a your name here batch of goalies a lot too.
Of course, because that's hockey. Why wouldn't you be able to do that?
He's not had no Connor Hellebuck hanging around. I mean,
listen, Bulldog.
Mackenzie Blackwood. It's like, what are we doing?
Who's
here?
Antti Niemi?
Okay.
Who's Cam Ward? Good. Sorry, I know. 20 years.
Yeah.
Tonight's the night.
Right.
Who actually is Cam Ward?
20 years. Oh my God. Yeah.
He's the quarterback of the Titans.
That's right.
It's just like, I mean, that's a hard thing to pull off.
Right.
Is to get into your 50s
so now,
and take on another sport and get picked first overall.
So we're on to baseball for 4 more guys? Is that how many guys did we got? 2 hockey, 2 basketball, 1 football. That's 5 guys.
Correct.
So we got 4 managers that have been with their current teams longer than McDermott has been the Bills coach.
Name any of them.
Could Brett Boone be right?
Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone, sorry.
No.
We used to talk to Brett Boone. Aaron Boone.
He isn't right.
That's not right.
He could have been right. He's not right. I actually guessed him. So don't beat yourself up.
I wasn't gonna, but I appreciate that we guessed wrongly on the same guy.
I love the conversation about whether the Avalanche coach is actually good. Does he have to be?
Yes.
Okay.
He
has to be.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with that.
All right.
See, this is where I'm now looking at I'm looking at a screen that has all the Major League Baseball teams on it.
Yes. Good idea.
I mean, there was a time when, and I don't think there's more teams where I think I could have probably told you, I don't know, 90% of these guys. And that time is not now.
Okay, well,
so
I can relate.
I do not.
The reason I asked you.
Don't know.
The reason I asked you in the first place.
I would like to get one baseball guy.
Is because of the clip.
The clip?
The Open.
Oh, the Open. Okay.
The longest tenured manager in Major League Baseball at the moment.
Is the Tampa guy?
Is Kevin Cash.
See, I told on myself by saying the Tampa guy.
And I am thinking of my friend who worked at the ballpark during COVID, and he worked in the visitors clubhouse. Like he got to know all the different managers and people with the other teams that played the Blue Jays. And he had a great story for me about this guy, Cash. He had a great sort of few minutes with him, if not longer. Yeah. And so that's what I think of first.
I feel like Dave Roberts could have been the Dodgers manager since 2017.
That's right. And there are two more. And one is married to a woman from Grand Island. Hopefully still. I don't know. I heard that a long time ago, and hopefully they're doing well.
Okay, that's somebody that we talked to. Did we talk to this person?
I never have.
Okay, then no. I was thinking of a Bison person.
I think there was a Bison's
Grand Island, yeah. Casey Candell, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, boy, I don't know. I'm going to retire on. Hang on.
Let's get out of this.
Okay. Could the Royals guy be right?
No.
Okay.
I'm not sure who that is.
Me either. But they won around like when did they win? 17, 15. They won. For me, like that's recently enough that a team like the Royals could just be like, no, manager's all set. He knows what it looks like. We won a World Series. We won with this guy. So that's why I guess Royals. I mean, who are the other three?
Torey Lovullo.
Torey Lovullo is who I was thinking
who managed the Bisons.
Right.
And the other name is Snitker, Atlanta. Brian Snitker. Those are the 9.
Okay.
Spoelstra, Andy Reid, John Cooper, Steve Kerr, Kevin Cash, Dave Roberts, Brian Snitker, Jared Bednar, who you insist necessarily is a good coach.
I'm even going to say he's great.
And Lovullo. And then McDermott is 10th.
We didn't talk to Lovullo. I swear to God.
I don't think I ever have.
I thought we talked to Lovullo because this all came up, and I thought we had him on one time. But I'm sorry if I might be mistaken. Maybe I did, and you. But I don't know.
Maybe
seems unlikely. But anyway. All right. Yeah. Well, it's been
McDermott is 10th.
It's been a run.
Let me just ask maybe one question here that anybody listening would be interested in. How close to the top does McDermott make it on this list? Does he outlast Andy Reid in Kansas City? Does he need to win Saturday? Like, where are we at on McDermott's chances? Mike Tomlin went 19 years. McDermott's at 9?
Yes.
Next year's 10, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Does he have another decade? I know. Somebody's listening, Rob, or somebody's listening like, oh, my God, I can't imagine. We're not even halfway through this yet. But they win every year. I mean, they've been – he is I think a very solid character, everything that you sort of want in a team spokesman, a leader.
The program is good, the culture, like all the stuff. Like you have no reservations about him being the face and or voice of your franchise.
I mean, imagine if you owned the team and he were your spokesperson. I think I'd be very
comfortable.
Yeah. Good word.
Well, I think he's at this point, and I felt this way even, I don't know, I guess there's a scenario where something awful could have happened on Sunday. They play this Saturday in Jacksonville.
Like one more bad play?
Yeah, I don't know. Or no, I don't think one more bad play. I mean like a blowout, like just a errors, time, whatever. Just he has a terrible day and you lose, then maybe it escalates. I think a normal loss, right? Even Jacksonville drives down the field and kicks a 60-yard field goal and they go to overtime and lose. I don't think he's getting fired. He's their coach next year. So what that buys him this year obviously is still going. He has the opportunity to help them win a Super Bowl this year still. And if that happens, I don't want to put a hard timeline on it, but that's a few years. Like what I'm saying about the Royals a minute ago, kind of cheekily, does translate, I think, to transfer over to the Bills. Not that they're the Royals. I mean, they're an NFL team, so it's a different landscape financially. There's no disadvantages.
By the way,
really.
I would have needed a year to think of who the Royals manager was the year they won it. I never would have even ever thought of it.
Okay.
By the way, may I?
Yeah, sure.
Ned Yost.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he did.
That's a real baseball-y name.
Ned Yost is a great name. He did get 4 more years after that win against the Mets.
Okay.
Never had another winning record than they just got.
Right.
They got there.
So I think McDermott is going to see next year's year 10, we said, right? He's going to see year 10. If they win this year or next year, I think you could easily see him getting to 15, assuming it doesn't just completely unravel, which, it could. Who knows what Josh Allen will want to do at any point in his career. Like, things can change. But if they are stable and contending and they win one, I could see him getting there. But he'd have to win one for me to get get beyond like 5 more years.
I wonder how much mileage Tomlin and John Harbaugh got out of their early career Super Bowl wins. I mean, Tomlin had this is a massive story that both of these guys are out in their jobs. And every time I look at Twitter or turn something on, like they're talking about the Tomlin decision. 2008 is when they won with him as coach, with Roethlisberger, right? I mean, they had a pretty good setup that he walked into, not to take anything away from him, but that's 18 years ago now. And he did have the winning record thing all the way to the end. It's still going. They didn't even go 8-9, and that was the end of it. They got to the playoffs and lost, and that was it. And he resigned, so it's not even exactly technically that they fired him. But how much does it, this is to your point, how much does it give you as a coach when you win early like that? Harbaugh rolled doubles 3-4 weeks in a row as the Ravens coach. They beat San Francisco in the Super Bowl I didn't watch, and there it is. Like, what does that earn you? Does that earn you a decade in the job? Because how many coaches have won it?
I think,
and then you get to the end, like you have a sort of a bad season or a semi-bad season, and be like, well, this guy's won a championship, so and then now, by the way,
and Harbaugh had those. Right, unlike Tomlin, like there were down years. There was Jackson hurt usually, right? But like
that's pretty much it.
Not every year was a great year, but you had a reason for it. Like you could easily look at it and go, "Oh, well, that happened, so okay."
And now, like he gets fired. He's 64. He gets fired. Sorry, he gets fired, and like immediately he's the hottest item. And the Giants, and now like the Giants fans are very. I mean, there's definitely credibility with him.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would love it. I mean, he won in 2012.
Yeah.
And he had Lamar Jackson. And a lot of their losses are kind of weird. Like they're sort of coaching losses. Or if you blame Jackson, there's turnovers too in some of these losses. But some of them sort of make it look like they're not really on it.
I think as long as you have the earned reputation of being respected by the guys, by the team, like the players. You've got command. The culture's good. There's not a bunch of embarrassing stuff happening. Although, I don't know. The Chiefs have had a lot of stuff off the field. I guess that this doesn't stick to Reed. I mean, he doesn't choose the players necessarily, but they've had their share of stuff that the organization could be embarrassed about. But Reed is, lovable, big, heavy guy, loves his cheeseburgers, mustache, and they win. I think you win one and you've got that culture-y piece, then you're as long as you don't go like 4-13, or even if you do, if there's some calamity, this could pertain to McDermott. If they win the Super Bowl and something happens to Allen and they have a terrible year, he's not getting fired. This is bad luck. Just roll it back next year. We just won with this guy. And we just won with this guy last. Probably not, doesn't have the shelf life it once had, we might be at the end. These guys, that's why it's maybe so significant that both Tomlin and Harbaugh left their jobs different ways, but they're out of their jobs that they had for so long within days of each other. Maybe it's sort of the end of an era because patience is just harder and harder to come by. Turn it over, try something different. This isn't working is more, and I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just how it is now, more so than it was. That's kind of why it's so wild that they lasted as long as they did, even with some dips. Although, again, Tomlin never had a dip. He
Dip.
got like
I hear you.
Below 500. It never happened. I'll bet whatever length of time that bought you, cut it in half now.
Joe Ostrowski next. Jay McKee today. Tonight, special night for fans who love to reminisce about the 05-06 Sabres. That includes right here, maybe both of us, probably. And we'll talk to Sal as well before we get to pregame for tonight's game against the Canadiens at 6. Stay tuned for Joe O. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Thanks for listening. This is WGR.
At the same time, we're trying to approach everything in moderation, and the guys that our medical staff is concerned about, making sure we're, being intentional with those players, and at the same time, making sure we're going about our business the right way as we prepare here.
Interesting. Sean McDermott, the Bills and the Broncos first up Saturday, 4:30. What a weekend. You have Seattle as a 7-point favorite. Everything else. Field goal. I guess Rams are 3.5 in frigid Chicago. Maybe snow in New England Sunday. Let's talk divisional round with our friend Joe Ostrowski, co-host of the Chicken Dinner podcast with Sam Panayotovich, who joins us on Fridays. You all know Joe. We will not ask Joe for his favorite highlight or memory of the 2006 Sabres, which a team being celebrated tonight. If you have one, shout it out. But, we sort of tweak you or just stay away from hockey altogether. The Sabres have won Bulldog 14 out of 16.
14 of 16 is
not
right.
bad. It's a big one. It's big for us, Joe.
Damn.
And right?
Wasn't aware. You learn something every time.
Yeah, we're having for the first time since we've known each other here, all three of us, Joe. We're having a hockey season. They've been by this time of the year a complete nothing. And really, the last couple of years, I could hardly even get mad at them anymore.
No, the only hockey team we talk about that's bad is China with Joe.
Right,
it's just Team
that's
China.
Right, that's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm well aware of where you've been because that's where I've been with the Bears for so long.
Right.
It's always about you have the people get mad at you because you do it, but you got to do it. The big picture conversations of that. Like, no, you can actually live in the moment, and you guys are living in the moment with your top two teams. It's a good time.
It's not something we're used to, but here we are.
Right.
So, Joe, what a weekend. You want to look back at last weekend? I mean, there were so many good games. Let's bring up the Bears here and their win against Green Bay. Now they're a home underdog in maybe single digits against the Rams. I'm feeling the vibes with Chicago. And can they be a team? Now it's the Rams, the team that was commonly talked about as the best in the league for so much of the season. Can they just sort of wander their way into the playoffs and then the division and now last week's game? Can they keep going?
Why not?
Why not?
With what they've done, they set a record last week. We were talking about this a month or so ago, about the number of wins that they were having when trailing in the last 2 minutes of games. And it happened for the 7th time. And even Bears fans that have witnessed this all season and whatever, the Iceman, Captain Comeback, they're trying to settle on a Caleb nickname here in Chicago. But you've seen it, and then still they're down 21-3, and people are angry. It's over. Nobody's considering bet on the Bears on the Moneyline Live right now. You could probably get a really great number. It's truly remarkable. And we're just stuck in this space where we're just so used to going at the negative and attack. Even Sam, it was still in our show after the weekend, he's criticizing Ben Johnson. I'm like, dude, did you watch the second half? Like, are we going to give some credit there? Like, you got to move past these 4th down decisions. Yeah, maybe they weren't the best, but that's what they're going to keep doing. And I thought, and this can apply to much of the league, and maybe even Buffalo as well. Olin Kreutz is former Bears center. Mm-hmm. He's one of the analysts in town, does a great job. And, he's got that old school mindset. But he's like, we've got to move past this. This is what he's going to do. This is much of what the league is doing, talking about the aggressiveness. And he said the upside is with players is that's ingrained between the ears now. They're going for it. They're aggressive. He believes in the in the offense. So, they know the coach has confidence. There's also that benefit, which doesn't get talked about as much. But, yeah, I mean, I still view it as a pretty wide-open year. I had to stop myself this week because I was looking at the top 3, and I was thinking, okay, Buffalo, LA Rams, Seattle, it's probably going to be one of those teams. But then I had to check myself. I'm like, I've been saying it's wide open all year, and you look at it this weekend, it's very much wide open, to your point. Even with San Francisco, I like Seattle this weekend. They're a big underdog, San Francisco. They were a big underdog last week. They've beaten Seattle. They know that team inside and out. Shanahan with his playoff success. that result wouldn't be all that shocking if the Niners pull off the upset.
Anything is possible. So how flat are the Super Bowl winning odds? Who the biggest underdog would be the Niners, the Bears?
Yeah, let me check because I checked before Monday Night Football. Then I didn't end up going back. That is actually something that we were discussing yesterday with a bettor. Who's the worst team left?
Like the AFC are the four teams are almost the same. I saw look-ahead stuff for next week, and of the four potential matchups, the biggest favorite was 1.5. Denver against Houston.
I remember, I was looking early in the week at the AFC numbers, and the three teams in the AFC, the odds are about the same. It was like plus 250, plus 270. It's all around.
And
the
Houston's
same number.
fourth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be longer odds than the Niners or the Bears, right?
Yeah, I mean, Super Bowl, Seahawks and the Rams are about the same, around 3-1. And then Patriots, Bills, Broncos, all bunched up, 6-7, somewhere around there. Houston 9-1.
I heard that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even.
You can't help yourself.
I was hoping nobody was going to catch it, and I can just forge ahead. But,
You're on with us young guys, Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry, we caught you.
We're clued in, Joe.
Yep. Bears and Niners.
To what, I don't know, but I'm clued in.
I think it's almost over. I don't hear it as much, but then I saw my son's phone ding last night.
Well, that's my cue to start using it like crazy then.
Yep, just like Facebook.
Yeah. I go, what's that? Who's texting you now? Oh, you guys going to jump in on the video games? You can't sit here and watch a movie with your family? And then I look down, and his buddy just texting him 6-7. I mean, that's it. I'm like, come on.
Well, is there enough value in the Bears and the Niners to play it? I mean, is it good enough? What is it? 10-1?
Bears 16.
16?
Niners 22.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You look at the teams and why they're down there. It's not because of the offense. It's not because of the coaching. It's the defense on both of those teams. How many times are we going to have that conversation? Well, they can't do it again, can they? Well, they keep winning. They keep winning, so I think they can.
I got to tell you, I had not looked at the lines of the other games until just before you were, set to join us here. And this Niners-Seattle line kind of blows my mind. I know that Seattle shut them down just a couple of weeks ago, but still, that was such a good race. And I don't know, Kittle being out is significant, but that's not what is that, a point maybe? I'm just surprised to see 7.5 on that game.
Yeah. I think the thought process there is, okay, now is it too much? We thought with Bosa and Warner it was too much. Okay, now what about Kittle? And you just have CMC, and that Seahawks defense was phenomenal against them a couple of weeks ago. Now, if you look inside that game, it was a 10-point game. So that would still be Seattle covering the point spread if you play that out again. But that had a lot on the line, obviously, with the number 1 seed. And Seattle outgained them by almost 200 yards. And Seattle was 0 for 3 in the red zone. I think the thinking there
all right. That kind of adds up.
Yeah, they should have put a lot more points on the board. And by the way, you have an 8-day rest advantage. That certainly has something to do with the point spread.
We're not sort of Mahomes the last couple of years, Joe, right? Our conversations this time of year were, do you really want to bet against them? Okay, try it. And 2 years in a row, they just skated through the AFC. Isn't there sort of a reverse Mahomes concept here with Darnold? All right, well, rest, home field, just beat him, 7.5. Sam Darnold, you sure? Joe, you sure?
For sure.
You sure?
For sure.
You want to? You doing this?
I know.
You want to?
I am going to.
Revenge game?
I am. But,
okay.
Yeah, no, I do understand where you're coming from. Here's a stat that shocked me when I was looking at it this week. Because I had the same reaction. Really, Sam Darnold? We keep doing this where, okay, he's in a big spot. What's going to happen? Is it going to be like last year again? Darnold, when he's favored by 6 or more, never lost. 13-0 straight up, 10-3 against the spread.
Really?
That surprised me because I was expecting to see quite the opposite, where he has disappointed so many times. But,
wow, well, that had to take a long time to happen. A 6.5-point favorite for Sam Darnold with the Jets and the Panthers. Probably not that often.
Yeah, that's all recent, right? The last
Vikings,
2 years
right.
with the Vikings.
Right. Well, bet him for Super Bowl MVP and just close your eyes. and watch golf.
Yeah, I would have, but then I saw the number, Mike. It's not even 5-1. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Really?
Josh Allen has a better number right now, guys. 7-1.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Seattle wins the Super Bowl. It's going to be some defensive player like it was the last time.
Exactly. But which that's the guy you would go with?
That's my dude.
I don't know. Bulldog wanted the Bills to draft him so bad.
He was my favorite draft idea for months, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's team up.
I don't mind that idea.
Nick Emenwari, Super Bowl MVP. Well, I mean, it's against the Bills, right? We don't want to do that too aggressively. But if they get like Denver, that's the team they beat.
Yep.
That's the team they beat in the Super Bowl, like 60-2.
Speaking of Denver, Joe, what do you think about the Bills? That just like last week, the Bills opened as 1.5-point favorite, and this swung much earlier. Last week, I think Jacksonville didn't get favored until Saturday, if I remember correctly. Here, Denver already, like midweek, it flipped, or even earlier. What are your thoughts on Bills Broncos from a betting perspective?
Hang on, I'm in worry. 500-1.
Oh,
specific book. So
where do I send the money?
A couple bucks.
We're in. We're in.
Might be worth it.
500-1.
Yeah. So last week,
I love to lose.
Where do I send my $1?
I mean, it's just why not? What was interesting, you're right about that movement towards Jacksonville. It was crazy. Right before the game, there were books that were dealing Jacksonville favored by 2.5 in that game. So if you pay any attention to, what are the pros betting? What are the sharps betting? If you followed that, you got your ass kicked last week. They lost every game. And Jacksonville was one of them. Every single game. They were on the Steelers. They were on the Packers. They were on the Rams -10. Eagles big. They were on Oregon in college football. They lost
washing machine guy.
Right. The washing machine guy, right.
Joe, Sam's washing machine guy.
He's fading the washing machine guy. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Tough.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I wouldn't go too far to see what's going on there. But, yeah, it was interesting. Beginning of the week, it was Bills as a slight favorite. Then it was a pick 'em. And then yesterday it moved to Denver as a slight favorite. I don't think any of it really matters. Like, people will make a big deal about it. Went from pick 'em to 1. You're picking the winner of this game. That's what you're doing. I will tell you that I told Sam on the show yesterday that for the first time, I'm starting to get nervous for you guys.
Really?
And I was pretty confident last week, and it was a pick 'em situation at the time that we spoke. And I'm like, look, quarterback, that's where you go. And it's the same situation this time around, right? Like, that's what everybody's who's taking Buffalo, that's what they're going to point to. Allen against Knicks, that's a no-brainer. It's not that complicated. You guys know, breaking this down every which way throughout the week, I'm sure. Where's the Bills' advantage that's not quarterback?
Running back?
Cook, yeah.
I mean, that's a tough defense, though. Like, we saw last week what that can look like when the matchup is
Bills'
wrong.
line is really good. I don't know how good Denver's is, but the Bills' line is excellent.
They're excellent.
But I'm done after that.
Allen's over-under is 208. I mean, it's lower than Knicks.
Yeah.
Not even close. By the way, speaking of over-unders for this week, I did Purple Insider this morning, so these are fresh in my mind. Puka Nacua, over-under in single digits in Chicago, receiving yards, 98.5.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, baby.
So the total's been dropping in that game throughout the week. And with some of the names that I was looking up, I think we talked about Loveland last week, guys. And he was 40.5 last week. And then early in the week, he's 58.5. And then I go and check. That came down 52.5 because of the weather report. And I'm like, okay, so maybe you can get a good number on Puka. No, you can't get a good number on Puka. Check out the Devontae number. This is a guy used to playing in the elements. What are you going to do the under then?
55, is it?
Yeah, it was 55 or touchdown. That would make a lot of sense.
I'm fine with both.
Yeah.
Like, Stafford's number is close to 270. The total's healthy, even though it's super cold. I'm fine with both on Adams. I like it. I like that idea.
The total there's 49.5.
49.5 and 8 degrees.
That's
a huge compliment to the quarterbacks.
It was 51 on Sunday.
50. The Bears Packers.
Yep. No, the Bears Rams.
Oh, it's come down. You're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's come down throughout the week. It's It's looking like right now it's going to be one of the 10 coldest Bears games ever.
Wow.
And the wind is the big deal. That's what we want to pay attention to, because early last week it was saying wind, and then we saw what happened in that game. The wind was not a factor in that one. So will it be this time around? The Stafford and freezing temperatures, those numbers are making the rounds as well. He's dome quarterback in both of his spots here. I'm not sure that it really is going to matter all that much.
All right.
McVay talking to LaFleur this week. This Bears defense is rough, boys. So the Rams should be able to name their score.
Joe and I slapped Loveland on our playoff team, so that was a good idea. We also started Justin Herbert, so R.I.P. Thanks for throwing the ball in that game. Did he throw a pass in that game? I missed it if he did. I just everything was. I get to Monday morning and it's McConkey running wide open all night. I'm like, I didn't really understand. I didn't appreciate that when I watched this game. I know they scored 3 points. Anyway, better luck next year to us. Joe Ostrowski, Chicken Dinner. How's that going?
Oh, it's going great.
Good.
The show is growing huge on YouTube and podcast as well, so it's been a lot of fun. It's a great time to take advantage for sure, but it's a fun time. I was like, Hawaii golf this week.
Oh, baby.
We get Hawaii golf. We can dream about being in Hawaii, and then March Madness is around the corner. It's a good time.
There's
Baseball
always
futures.
something, right?
Yeah.
Got to be quick to baseball futures pretty soon.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Joe. Good luck this weekend.
Good luck to you guys.
Joe Ostrowski on the Wester Hotline. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. Time out. This is WGR. McKee coming up at 4. Tonight, the Sabres are celebrating their, dare I say, legendary team from 20 years ago, 05, 06. That team was so, beloved and important and great. And I'm really enjoying thinking about that season. I asked my wife today, carefully, what's your favorite memory from that season? And she looked to the side, and then she looked back at me and said, probably the time you picked me up.
Right. I was hoping
said, that was mine too.
Go for that. Yeah. Right.
I was hoping she didn't say sometimes you went to a game with, her niece.
Right.
But it was Dumont's goal in Game 3 against Ottawa. And I turned to my right, picked her up. The only time I've ever done it. Because, look at me. And that was her choice. Yeah. That's a lovely choice for us. So, Jay, such an important part of that team. One of the several. I don't know if it's how many guys are doing this tonight. Like I know the media, the press release mentioned 6 players, including Jay.
There's a lot more than that.
Good.
Yeah, I'll look while we're in a break waiting for Jay.
Maybe he'll know.
Yeah, there's a dozen or more. I saw a longer list of names. Yeah.
So Sabres, also a meaningful game here. They won again last night. Montreal's
the team right in front of them.
Oh. Who could have scripted this?
5 points back. Sabres have played 2 fewer games. LFG, people!
Right. Montreal's here again in like 2 weeks.
Good.
By the way. Right, exactly.
They are a blast
You love
to watch.
watching Montreal.
I hope that they're not a super fun, whatever. I hope it's a really great game. When the Sabres aren't playing, if Montreal's playing, I'm watching them. They are a blast to watch.
Too bad we're making them wear white, but,
should be red and blue.
One of these days, they'll figure it out. Right. Yeah, the game will be in black and white tonight. Jay McKee coming up. Sal Capaccio at 5. Pregame at 6 for tonight's hockey game. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
The Buffalo Bills, as they get ready to head to Denver for the divisional round on Saturday. Max Hairston and Jordan Poyer are those players, and then 5 are questionable. Terrell Bernard, DeMar Hamlin, Ty Johnson, Ed Oliver, and Curtis Samuel. Johnson was upgraded to a limited participant after not practicing all week, and then Samuel finishes out the week as a full participant the whole way through. The Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Stay tuned. We'll get more on the Bills in just about an hour when Sal Capaccio joins the show at 5. Around the rest of the league, we are still waiting on official word, but all signs do point to John Harbaugh taking the New York Giants head coaching job and being the first domino to fall on that front. It is also expected to be a 5-year deal. And then Texans wide receiver Nico Collins remains in concussion protocol. Houston is going to be on the road versus New England on Sunday, while for the Patriots, cornerback Christian Gonzalez was seen out of his red non-contact jersey today as he also goes through the concussion protocol process. To the Sabres, it is game night tonight, and it is 05-06 season reunion night, the team that made it to the conference finals 20 years ago. Game time is at 7, pregame at 6. The Sabres do host Montreal, a team they are going to play 2 more times this month. And then 9 more games tonight in the NHL, some notables. Also at 7, the Penguins do host the Flyers. At 8, Bruins head the Kraken in town. 9 p.m. sees the Islanders out west versus the Oilers. Then at 9:30, the Maple Leafs, they are in the desert to take on Las Vegas. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
And cleared out to center ice to Pominville. Pominville into Ottawa territory. Pominville goes around Alfredson, cuts in front, scores! Jason Pominville, short-handed. Oh, now do you believe? Now do you believe? These guys are good, scary good. And Greer will skate it to center ice, get it back again. Greer in over the line, looking for Drury. Backhand, scores! Chris Drury, top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. And now the Flyers will pick it up and bring it back. Oh, what a hit by Campbell! Holy mackerel! Campbell stepped into his check in the blue line. Now they're all chasing after Campbell.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog on WGR Sports Radio 550.
It simply might be my favorite sports team ever. And chills 20 years later. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. I mean, Bulldog, 86 Mets. Come on. I'm a kid. But to be an adult, to be in your 30s and have a sports team just sort of consume you, personally, professionally, emotionally, it happened. Our guest on the Western Hotline, Jay McKee, a big part of that. I was thinking about talking to you today, Jay, and I'm looking at my app last night, checking the scores, and David Perron scored a goal for Ottawa. And I remembered asking, you were teammates, I think, in St. Louis, like a long time ago. I remember asking you, like, what's this? I was collecting cards, and I had a Perron card. I'm like, who's this guy? And you compared him to Briere a little bit. Like you said, I don't know if that rings a bell, but are you as excited about tonight as, I don't know, maybe the fans are, your former teammates? How are you feeling?
I am. It's obviously it's been a long time now, and you're all friends for life when you go through those moments and experiences together. But life obviously takes everyone in separate ways when guys move on. Obviously, with the technology nowadays, you can stay in touch, but to really get everyone together again is it's pretty meaningful.
Yeah, I was just checking the list. Hi, by the way, Jay. It's nice to talk to you. I don't have your number, so I wasn't texting you.
Hear your voices again.
It's really nice to chat with you. We go way back. I remember when you were drafted, for crying out loud. Yeah, the list is, not every guy from that team, but there's 19 people on this list. I mean, that's a hard. There's only like 23, 25 guys on a team with Black Aces added in. So
most of the guys who are not here are actual NHL general managers.
Right, they've got jobs. And so do you in hockey, obviously, but fortunately a night off for you, right?
Yeah. No, it's good. It's understandable. They're busy guys, those GMs. But no, it's pretty special. I think it's hard to get this amount of guys together, and really grateful that the organization was able to put it together. Like I said, you kind of stay in touch with guys here and there, but I haven't seen a lot of those faces in a long time. So, and again, there are so many fun memories, and when your teammates going through that and having success, it's when you look back, it's a time of your life. So it'll be refreshing to see everybody and catch up and see how they're all doing.
Are you one to generally reminisce and think wistfully about those days, or are you just too busy moving forward? And that's what makes this so special, is it kind of gives you an opportunity to sort of dive back in, whereas maybe day to day, week to week, month to month, it's not something that you would want to spend too much time thinking about because you got too much else going on.
Well, I'm reminded weekly about the staph infection that year.
Oh no!
So it's hard to move on from. No, it's life gives you opportunity and challenges you to make new and more exciting memories as it goes on. But certainly, when I think back to my years past and playing the sport, that's that year and the '99 year are really the 2 out of the 14 years I spent in the league that the one memories flood back on. And then obviously, God rest his soul, hearing those calls from RJ, give you chills.
Yeah,
us too. Yeah.
The Pominville clip there. I mean, if Jay doesn't catch him, he's still skating around that rink, I think.
Yeah, he's doing a full lap for sure. But I think, being the guy sitting in the box during that goal in a Stanley Cup playoff game in overtime, I think there was no one more thrilled than myself to see that puck go in.
Did somebody open the door for you? So Pominville, you're in the penalty box. Pominville scores, and he's coming in your direction at the box. Do you just sort of like rip that thing open, or does the guy with the suit on how did that happen? Do you remember?
I'm pretty sure age didn't matter at that point. If he was 80 years old, I'd push him out of the way to get out of that door pretty quick.
and you score, by the way, the next game. The next game is Game 1 in Carolina. That was a pretty great moment.
Yeah, and that was another unique one because we had it was a pretty tight game. I think we were up by 1. It's actually a funny moment. I was in the penalty box, and there was a guy for 2 straight minutes screaming through the partition, telling me it's going to be all my fault. We're going to lose the game. They're going to score right here. And that goal, I had never had a fan do that before. He literally, the whole 2+ minutes, if there was a couple of whistles, just screamed through the partition. And I stepped on the ice, collected a pass, went up and scored. So next time you see the replay of that goal, you'll see me. I wasn't even looking at our bench. I was looking over at that guy, pointing at him and yelling at him. And,
oh, wow.
Pretty memorable moment there.
I don't think I knew that story. 8 seconds after your penalty expired,
wow.
Then are you always in the box?
Apparently at important times, but you know what? When I am, good things happen.
That's right.
Sounds like it. Jay, you mentioned, I want to go back to the Pominville goal for just a second because I've told this story since the first time we were on the air after that game happened and whenever it's come up. And I've never thought about you. I mean, we've talked to you about it before, so I remember that you were in the box. But we can't see you as that play is unfolding, even on any of the different angle replays. But there's an ice level replay that you can see the entire Sabres bench, and they're all sitting, and Pominville's, skates by them and is going, and they're just sitting. And you know how a bench can be, especially in the playoffs, when there's a moment, like guys will get up. But nobody thought that play was going to be anything, including me watching it in my bedroom, like sort of half reclined. And then he cuts to the net, and it's in the net. And the spontaneity of the bench celebration, like, how about from your standpoint watching that play? Were you just like, oh, good job, Palmer, killing time, go down into the corner, and then it's in the net 2 seconds later? It's just kind of still incredible.
You think of how many penalty kills you watch when you watch games over the years, and you just never see goals scored like that. And then you really amplify it in the moment to end a series and keep the ball rolling for us. I would assume, I don't recall exactly, but I would assume I was thinking the same thing. I'm just hoping, the clock runs down and I can get out there and maybe get another breakaway. But no, it was a very spontaneous moment. I don't think anyone expected him to pull that move off, and obviously it was on Alfredson, who's one heck of he's a legendary hockey player, and in that such a tight area to pull it across the net and score that goal, it really special, and definitely one of the defining moments of that season and that playoff run.
With Jay McKee, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog on WGR. We talked to Pominville some number of years after that goal. Maybe he was still active, but this was a proud moment for me. I asked him, is there anything about that nobody has ever asked you or that people wouldn't know? Just like Bulldog's question. What a great question about noticing the players. And he said, yes. He said, I was at the beginning of my shift and they weren't. And so I think they might have thought I was just going off, like I was going to get to center ice and go off because we're killing a penalty. Right. It's overtime in the playoffs. He's like, but I had legs. And I love that little nuance about that story that how did it happen? Maybe that's how it happened, where they just were sort of assuming he was going to dump it, no matter whether it was the end of his shift or not. Like, that's how it looked.
I do think, too, when sometimes teams will have 4 forwards on a power play. And I think Alfredsson was in that position, if I recall, because they had a forward, on the point. When forwards are heading down the ice and they see another forward defending them instead of a defenseman, one-on-one against skilled players for players who don't do it for a living is a challenge. And I think Pominville obviously exposed it. It was a heck of a move. He may have done the same thing on a veteran defenseman, but it was a tough one for Alfredsson with a guy with that kind of skill and ability coming down on him in that moment.
Jay, the story of that season, at least from the outside, was how you're coming off of the canceled season and the team didn't really start that well. You had Miller get hurt and it was, what were they, like 9-9 or something like that? It was just like an okay start. Expectations were low. The building was not full. And, the way we remember it is, okay, this is incredible. This was not supposed to happen. How did these guys get this good? What was it? How do you remember that? Were you maybe more the type to think like we're being underrated, or was it also more of a surprise to you that you had what you had?
No, I think we believed what we had in the room. A lot of times, and you even look at the Sabres this year, when you have injuries, it has an effect. It affects some chemistry. Obviously, when you have an injury to your starting goaltender, and this is not a dig on any backup, but they're a starting goaltender for a reason. They might squeak out that game here or there that the backup wouldn't. But when we looked at our team, we felt we were deep really in every position. And once we kind of found some chemistry amongst the lines up front, once the chemistry in the back end clicked, and when you look at that team also, some of our younger players were the highly skilled guys like Pominville, Roy, Vanek. Those were our younger players, so who weren't fully established. So with guys that are just learning their way into the National Hockey League as younger players, it takes a handful of games under their belt to fully understand the systems, what the coach expects, to get comfortable with their teammates and their surroundings. And I just think once we kind of hit that stride around that time, the belief really started to settle in too. Once everyone was comfortable and the chemistry started happening, and confidence is such a huge part of that in that game. And when you have a team full of players with confidence, special things can happen.
Right, about a half dozen of those guys were playing for Rochester in the arena the spring before because there was no NHL. Gostad, right? I mean, a bunch of those guys.
Vanek,
it takes those guys some time to get their footing and start to feel comfortable, and once they do, it just adds to the depth of your organization.
Jay, I know you're obviously, a pro hockey player. You went on to play elsewhere, friends in the league, friends on different teams. So I'm going to ask you this, and I understand if you, got to beg off or whatever. Do you still hate Carolina? Did you ever hate Carolina? We hate. It's different for fans. We hate. I used to joke around that I get out of bed hating the Flyers because of 1975. I'm that old. The Hurricanes still are just a problem for a lot of Sabres fans. How are they for you?
Yeah, well, I mean that we're talking about that year. That was a tough one for me. The '99 season may have been tougher, given we felt it wasn't legit. But
right.
You dislike every team you play against. I think when you have that within you, you're competitive at nature and have a fire inside you to win. you kind of dislike every team. I don't fault Carolina for beating us. They just seem to have fate on their side during their run that year, and even seeing Rolison go down the game before the Stanley Cup playoffs, it just seemed like something was happening for them, helping them win, and for whatever reason that was, luck, fate, it was on their side that year, and it was against us. So I hold no ill will against the Carolina or the players. I think I have more of a bitter taste still about the 99 year.
Makes sense. Jay, so when I think about 06, I mean, Bulldog and I were still well into our careers at that point, and it was so amazing how transcendent the Sabres became. Like, we didn't talk about the Bills ever for a while there. And we had Ellen Maxwell in here doing a story for Channel 4 about my pants. Because I said on the air, just said casually one day, that I wore these pants to every game. They win every time I wear these pants. Really, we didn't have analytics then. And anybody could have said, well, they win most of these games. So it wasn't really the pants to the pants credit. Might you have a memory or two of that time when it was like, okay, this is, maybe it wasn't different from 99 from your perspective, but it might have been that, like, all right, this is really, my wife tells a story about going to a game and there was an autograph event after the game that year, way before the playoffs, and just like everybody stayed and got autographs from players at tables in the arena. And that might seem like sort of incredible to fans listening now who didn't live those years.
Yeah. No, I think as the season went on, it was a team, too, that had a real tightness. The guys spent a lot of time together on the road, at home. They would still get together. There was a camaraderie in the dressing room. We felt we were strong all year. I just think as it kept building, we felt more and more confident. The depth of our team, it just all seemed to come together. Palmer's goal there, obviously, and again, RJ, just his calls. We would hear those too on replays and stuff and on the radio, and it just built an aura of belief, I think, within the whole dressing room and the city. For me, everything was just going really well, and after Briere had scored that old OT goal in Game 6, in my heart, I remember just saying, we're winning this whole thing. We're winning the Stanley Cup this year. I had such a belief inside, and I don't doubt that each player in the room had that belief. And we had already lost, I believe, 5, Connolly and 4 players, only in 3 of our starting 6 defensemen, and the belief was still there. But again, unfortunately, fate took the turn, and was in Carolina's side, but I had a true belief in my heart after that goal that not just were we a good team and a strong team, I had a belief we were winning the Stanley Cup.
Jay, before we wrap up here, if it's okay, Mike, if we move on, I want to ask you about, it's year 5 now with the Brantford/Hamilton. It was 2 years in Hamilton, and now this is year 3 with Brantford. Congratulations on a nice run being a head coach in the OHL with the same group for 5 years now. How's it going? And mostly I want to know, because I still follow enough junior hockey reporters from when my kid was, working his way up the ladder, that I saw the OHL Top Prospects game yesterday, and to see all the college commitments on that roster was really bizarre to me. Yeah. How different is the lay of the land now with that kind of wide open now?
Well, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to stay in the sport that I love and pass on some of the teaching that I was able to take on from the coaches before me, and I love coaching. It's been wonderful. But the landscape has changed, but I think it's for the better of the athletes. You see a lot of kids commit now to the college even while they're in the OHL. That doesn't necessarily mean they're 100% going to college. That means they've got a fantastic opportunity waiting for them if the pro route doesn't pan out for them. And I do believe, even if you look at the central scouting that came out, the majority of players in the first round or even the draft come from the CHL. So it's what I believe is the best developmental hockey league in the world. So the U.S.-born players who were thinking of college can now, opt into going to the best junior development league in the world and still fall back on a college scholarship in the U.S. If they so desire. So, if I think about my sons and the opportunities that I would want for them, the changing landscape is fantastic. And it's great for the kids. It hasn't affected the CHL. I think it's only made hockey in general better.
Yeah, here. I totally agree.
Yeah.
This has been wonderful. We don't talk as often as we used to, Jay, but I'll tell you, like my daughter plays hockey in Canada as a 14-year-old. My son played box lacrosse as a 16-year-old for St. Catharines. And I'm in these arenas. Bulldog has done the tour. I know, like I'm in Guelph or I'm in Whitby or I'm in Kingston or wherever. Yeah. And I always think of you because there's some NHL alum that's like sort of on display, a plaque or a jersey or something, or several in all these places. And you're the guy I think of, just like, as a coach, as a player, Niagara Falls, like just sort of, I think like Jay has been here and played, and I just sort of have that moment. I don't think of you as often when I'm playing craps because I just got destroyed the night you and I were at the tables. Please don't take that personally. Okay.
Not at all. Not at all.
May you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for this.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for yours. Jay McKee with us on the West Shore Hotline, 6 o'clock pregame. Some of our pregame show where it won't be, your Alex Tucks and your Jacob Brysons. It might be more a couple of guys from the 06 team who are doing media. I just saw a picture from the Sabres. There's Kalinin, there's Hesht, there's Max. They're all down there already. Jay's on his way. 5 o'clock, I think they're going to do.
A half a dozen or so of these guys are meeting, and Paul's going to talk to some of them, and we'll see what we have for you when pregame rolls around.
All right, I can't wait to find out. 803-0550 for your calls on this or on Saturday's massive Bills game. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.
Just 2 players have been ruled out for the Bills. They get ready to head to Denver for the divisional round on Saturday. Max Hairston and Jordan Poyer are those 2 players, while 5 are questionable. Terrell Bernard, DeMar Hamlin, Ty Johnson, Ed Oliver, and Curtis Samuel. Johnson, an upgrade to a limited participant today after missing the first 2 days, and then Samuel finishes out the week a full participant in all 3 days. The Barnes from Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-million. Do stay tuned. We'll get more on the Bills in just about a half hour when Sal Capaccio joins the show at 5. To the Sabres, they are in action tonight, and it is 05-06 season reunion night after 20 years. This is a team that did make the Eastern Conference Finals. Game time is at 7, pregame at 6. The Sabres, they do host Montreal, a team they are going to play 2 more times this month. And the 9 of the games tonight in the NHL, some notables include also at 7, Penguins host the Flyers. At 8, the Bruins have the Kraken in town. 9 p.m., Islanders, they are out west to take on the Oilers. Then at 9:30, the Maple Leafs, they are in the desert as they face off against Las Vegas. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
When we looked at our team, we felt we were deep really in every position. And once we kind of found some chemistry amongst the lines up front, once the chemistry in the back end clicked, and when you look at that team also, some of our younger players were the highly skilled guys like Palmerville, Roy, Vanek. Those were our younger players who weren't fully established. Guys that are just learning their way into the National Hockey League. I just think once we kind of hit that stride, the belief really started to settle in too, once everyone was comfortable and the chemistry started happening. And confidence is such a huge part of that game. And when you have a team full of players with confidence, special things can happen.
Jay McKee, just before, really, I'm looking at hockeyreference.com and I'm going sort of back and forth between his career and tonight's game and that. And I'm looking at a stretch of games on the Sabres schedule where it's like win, 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 win. Like, oh boy, the memories. That's this year, actually. I wanted to sort of maybe mention to Jay, like, how much...
maybe it's happening a little bit... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's happening right now. Like
maybe. I just
hopefully.
thought it's a different night if they've lost 14-16.
That's right.
Which is maybe one part of why this kind of thing doesn't happen very often with the Sabres.
I thought this last year, I think I've mentioned this, last year was 50 years from 1975. Or right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was some, movement on Twitter, like, how come they're not doing anything? And I honestly thought, I don't know, it's one of those things I might have composed a couple tweets to sort of share my opinion about it, and then like, I don't like how this is worded, or I can't fit it, and I don't want to, whatever, just leave it. But I thought with the way the temperature was, I don't know, I could see fans feeling like all we have is this, all we've got is the past, and the past is great, but it takes a lot out of you if the present is terrible. Like there's a relationship, a yin and a yang, where if all you've got is the memories and current is not worth really sitting with, it can make you a little bitter. And I would understand if someone internally within the Sabres, I don't know if they ever even talked about it, and would be the criticism, is like, did they realize that it was 50 years from their first Stanley Cup Finals appearance? I would guess they did and thought, it just doesn't feel right. It's just like we're not, I don't know. I would understand if they demurred because of that, is all I'm saying.
Also, this is delicate, but not as many guys are around and, sort of maybe up for it to have players. Like tonight, these guys are kind of our age or even younger.
Right.
And if they are as tight as we think they are and want to get together again and have sort of a moment, they'll come. And that's happening. The vast majority of the team is already here for tonight. So you've got guys like, Teppo. Teppo is here for this.
Right.
Max, I don't know this much about these guys. I don't think they live in the country. So, let's go back to Buffalo.
Right. Yeah.
For Teppo, that was a pretty short section of his career. the Sabres part. Like, he's Winnipeg. But it meant enough to him to come back. Jochen Hecht is here.
Yep.
JP Dumont, those guys. So, can't wait.
Yeah, it is enhanced by the fact that the team is on the roll they're on right now. And they won last night, and they're in a playoff spot. And it's, we're sort of getting back in touch with that, with caring, like, being emotional about it again. I joked around on Twitter last night. There's a couple of dust-ups, right? The Michkov barehanded punched Krebs, didn't get a penalty, and then a few minutes later, Benson's into it behind the net with somebody, and Benson gets the only penalty. And my son Owen and I are in the living room, and we're yelling at one another about officiating. I'm like, we are all the way back, people. Like, I haven't given a you-know-what about officiating, and I still try not to, obsess on it, but in the moment, in the game, man, that's terrible. Look at it. What about the guy that tackled Benson after he cross-checked the guy? And I'm yelling. I'm like, I cannot believe that this is in me. It's coming out. Because I've watched how many Sabres games, how many hundreds of Sabres games have I sat there and watched where there were terrible calls and injustices and whatever? I don't care.
What's the difference?
I don't care. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care about the result. I'm watching out of some twisted obligation/habit, and there's nothing fulfilling about it. Totally
it's depressing.
Different experience last night. Totally different. And, welcome back, caring about the refs.
Yes. It's also that Flyers logo.
Can drive you crazy, but, it's a good crazy.
Yeah. I wonder if I'll get there. I didn't have access to last night's game, so I didn't have that. I'm excited about watching tonight's at home. The connection for me with that team was a lot about my age and those, being sort of right in almost the same age as some of the guys. They're probably older than most of them. But still, I was young, and I felt like I was a part of it. And we had, every one of these players did our show. It was, we had Jochen Hecht at a car dealership. I remember Dumont, where was that, on a patio after the season was over?
It was a golf outing, course. Yeah. Maybe the Sabre alumni turned around. I don't know, but I remember talking to him because he was they'd already turned down his arbitration, and
Briere was in here. Drury was during the playoffs.
We did weekly with Gaustad for a while.
Weekly with Gaustad. After, I think, later.
Yeah, that's right. It was later.
Teppo I was in a smoke shop. I don't know if you were there for that. But I was in where you go to smoke the cigars is where they put me.
Okay.
And Teppo was on, and I asked him at the end of the interview, is Teppo a popular name in Finland? He said, hopefully now it is.
Right, I was not there for that.
Because of me.
Your good memory that I wasn't there. I remember you telling that story, and I would have remembered being there for him saying that.
And Jay I knew from a previous job, and Marty I knew from Rochester when he was the Amherst goalie, and then Ryan Miller was so famous and popular, and we would talk to him and usually get into deep conversations with him. And it wasn't always what's in giggles with Ryan.
No, right.
He's a serious guy.
Yep.
And the guys that we didn't ever get to, like Kalinin or Max, was more like a language barrier than anything else, I think. So there are these. I remember talking to Tim Connolly, of course, can't leave him out. Talking to Hecht at the Sabres charity event because my wife had lived in Mannheim, where he's from, in Germany, and they connected about that. And
I remember talking to Connolly. We were in Toronto.
Yeah.
To play. We played golf at some place really nice. I don't remember the name of the place. If I heard it, I might go, that's it. But some place that people that play golf in Toronto are ooh, that's nice.
North of Toronto.
Yeah, we went and played, and then we did our show in this I don't know. I just remember being alone in this sort of a tower type structure, and I remember talking to because it was when Connolly was trying to come back. After the year-long concussion, and that was a good but heavy conversation too. I remember with him.
Well, with him, I think of a very thoughtful guy who had it kind of tough, and I remember talking to him either that day or another day about just when you feel like the fans are against you. What does that feel like? And he would answer your questions. He was somebody who would take your question. So I mean, who are we leaving out? Tallinder, oh, this is another great memory. This is it's so much. It's so much. It's like a fan, but also almost like not a colleague, but there was a professional thing like we're talking about when they would come on. And Tallinder came back to the Sabres.
Mm-hmm.
He also played for Toronto, didn't he? Maybe?
I don't remember where he was exactly, but I know he left for a little bit.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. He came back to the Sabres, and when he did, he was on, and I said, do you remember the first shift of the first playoff game in 2006? And he says, absolutely. And this was against Philadelphia, and there was a bad bounce. And the puck, like 10 seconds into the game, you can find it. It's Peter Forsberg alone with an empty net. And I don't know, does Tallinder get a stick on it or something?
Shaft of his stick. I think the puck is in the air, and he gets it with the shaft of his stick.
You know, like, there are so many memories that everybody relives when it's this subject. Pominville's goal, like we just played. But there are also lots of other ones that are, like, sneaky good.
Yep.
And that one is, all right, I mean, I was in tears when they came on the ice for that game to start before the anthems for that game against Philadelphia. I was, like, so moved that the crowd was incredible. Philadelphia Flyers, game 1. We talked to Pierre McGuire a lot. He's like, I like Buffalo. Like, all right, let's do it. And the Flyers are, like, old and slow.
The Sabres are back in the playoffs after bankruptcy and, like, all kind. I mean, it was as bad as it ever was prior to the last few years, I would say. That period of time. Any time we spent talking about them, I remember talking about if they get good, like, crisis, like there's nobody there, they're bankrupt, the league owns them, what's the future, who's going to own them? There was so much uncertainty, and I would just say, man, if they just get good, it'll reignite. We're just waiting. We just need something to believe in. And then it happened, and like, blammo, that's why you're crying, because we have it back. It's back.
I feel like I've got the best seats in the house. I've got my new bride, and here it is, game 1, and it's deafening noise. Philadelphia Flyers, Sabres come out in black, and anthems, and just like you're just this heightened level of tension and excitement. And the puck is dropped, and it goes into the Sabres' end. And then Peter Forsberg is alone with the puck, and the net is empty. Like, this can't be real.
And Tallinder deflects it.
Gets in the way. And okay. And McKee scores in that game, by the way, from the boards. It's a 2-2 game through overtime. Philly ties it late, maybe Jeff Carter. And McKee scores a goal, just sort of like a random shot from the left boards that goes in on Esch.
I don't know.
Probably.
I can't remember.
The second game is Esch flips out. It's 5-0 in the first period.
Right.
Slams his stick and just loses it. 8-2. Oh, my gosh. I'm so in. Do the Bills have a game? I'm so, like, back 20 years ago, reliving memories of work and, going downtown for games. Just like, it's so rich. So rich.
It's insane that I remember listening to you talk to Tallinder when he came back. I was off. It was in the summer.
Okay.
He resigns. We didn't have Wi-Fi at the cottage. I was sitting in the Tim Hortons parking lot in Crystal Beach checking emails, listening to you talking to Henrik Tallinder. and I laying out this scenario about the first 10 seconds of the game. Like, that's very specific to me only, but that I remember that is just tells you how deep those roots are.
Scored the first goal in the Pominville game early.
Right.
We get done with pregame,
From
get
the
in the
left
car.
wall. Yeah.
And he scores when we're in the car.
Yeah.
Tony Ludman was on the show.
I remember talking about metal with him.
Metal?
Death metal. He loved like heavy metal.
Yeah, like Finland.
Yeah, like stuff you haven't heard of.
Sneaky Joe says he's not here tonight.
Right.
But that, and my wife and I called him the expert. That was our nickname for him, because he did this one thing that you still really don't see guys do. Like, everybody flips the puck out, right? Defensemen just sort of lob the puck out. You're watching on TV, you wonder if it's going to hit the scoreboard. Like, it's just sort of it's a way to clear the puck. But Ludman would do it on his backhand. He would get the puck in his own end, and even if there was pressure, he could clear the puck in the air on his backhand. Wouldn't be icing. It'd be perfect.
Right. Just
like
lob it out, and land in the neutral zone and bounce into their end.
Perfect.
And yep.
Like, here's the expert.
Get a line change.
And you'd see a play, and there's number 5, and the puck would get to his stick, backhand, boop. I'm having so much fun right now. Hopefully you are too if you loved those teams, that team in particular, like this. We'll talk to Sal at 5, and then it's pregame for Sabres Canadians, 6 o'clock. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog pregame for Sabres Canadians. Third home game already this week. Tonight coming up at 6, 7:05 face-off. Are we back on like normal TV tonight?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Or else I'm going out because I didn't get last night's game. We watched Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't there first. I wasn't home first to get. But what was I going to?
I should show you. So have you seen on social media any of the TNT stuff that they did last night?
I mean, I'm aware of the Bissonnette.
The thing with Rob, they did the open to the game.
Yes,
was a feature with Rob that I defy anyone who likes or admires Rob on any level to not find it utterly hilarious. He killed it.
Good.
And credit to Bissonnette too for being a willing part. He was made into the joke and he rolled with it. He did everyone full marks. I mean,
I had the game on in my car going home and heard Rob say, "Yeah, I have to do everything around here."
Yes. The planning, the execution, the acting by everyone. I mean, they just did a home run. They really did. I didn't watch. There was, I think, a Flyers feature with Tocchet, who used to be on that broadcast too, that I didn't see. But the thing with Rob and Bissonnette and Darlene was just, those things can be cringeworthy almost all the time. And this was the opposite of that.
What was the premise?
Bissonnette's been giving Buffalo a hard Loserville, the team is just so bad. And he said at the Winter Classic in Miami, if the Sabres beat the Flyers that night, I will let Rob Ray paddle me like the guys in the movie. Oh my gosh! Why can't
Pirates of the Caribbean?
No. Dazed and Confused. There's an initiation, like 8th grade into high school thing is a theme in the movie. Anyway, so Bissonnette shows up and he's wow, the history of the franchise. They show the statues of the French Connect. He's looking at the wall inside the locker rooms. Jim Kelly's picture's there. He didn't say anything about Jim Kelly, but I love that Jim Kelly's picture and name was in
Our
his
Jim
piece.
Kelly.
Our Jim Kelly. And he's like, wow, look at these guys. Hasek and Mogilny and Rob Ray. What's Rob Ray doing there? And then he turns around and Rob is standing there and he just it's just really good. He pats Rob Ray on the shoulder at one point and Rob is just like staring at his shoulder. Like Rob plays like he's playing hard ass and it's really, really good.
Acting chops.
Yeah, really. I'm serious. Rob was excellent in the thing.
He had to surrender his space for the game.
He's Bissonnette. One of the first things he says to him is, "Hey, thanks for giving me your penalty box." He's like, "It wasn't my idea." Just deadpan, just really, really good. So good for all of them.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah,
I don't get the channel.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I have subscriptions to everything.
Yep.
It's killing me, but somehow there's a Sabres game I can't watch. All right, well, tonight's will be available. That's good to know.
Yep.
Sal Capaccio next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
They get ready to head to Denver for the divisional round on Saturday. Max Hairston and Jordan Poyer are those players, and then 5 are questionable. Terrell Bernard, DeMar Hamlin, Ty Johnson, Ed Oliver, and Curtis Samuel. And then some notes from the injury report. Johnson was upgraded to a limited participant after not practicing all week. Then Samuel, he finishes out the week a full participant in all 3 days. The Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Do stay tuned. We'll get more on the Bills coming up next as Sal Capaccio will join the show. Some notes from around the rest of the league. We are still waiting on official word, but all signs do point to John Harbaugh taking the New York Giants head coaching job. This, of course, would be the first domino to fall on that front, and it is expected to be a 5-year deal. And then some injury notes heading into the divisional round. Texans wide receiver Nico Collins remains in concussion protocol. Houston is going to be on the road versus New England on Sunday, while for the Patriots, good news for them, cornerback Christian Gonzalez was a full participant as he looks to clear concussion protocol. And then Seattle, they have quarterback Sam Darnold as questionable against the 49ers on Saturday. He's dealing with an oblique injury. Darnold, though, when speaking to the media, did say he expects to play. And for the 49ers, linebacker Fred Warner will not be activated off of IR. To the Sabres, it is game night tonight. It is also 05-06 season reunion night. The team did make a conference final 20 years ago. Game time is at 7, pregame in about an hour at 6. The Sabres, they host Montreal, a team they are going to play 2 more times this month. And then 9 other games tonight in the NHL. Some notables do include, also at 7, the Penguins host the Flyers. At 8, the Bruins have the Kraken in town. 9 p.m. sees the Islanders out west versus the Oilers. Then at 9:30, the Maple Leafs, they are in the desert to take on Las Vegas. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet, celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Well, it's probably, again, not the best way to start this conversation in such an important week. But, Sal, would you like to join the chorus on the 506 Sabres? I mean, are you feeling the feels today, or should we just go ahead and talk about the injury report?
Did you get your fill last night, right? You had your event last night with Graham and Sneaky Joe, I know, right?
Yeah, we talked about it. I will be there tonight. I've been looking forward to it. I'll be there tonight, taking Max to the game. And we live at a YouTube age, right, where he watches a lot. And he knows about this team. He's watched them. He's watched the calls, the RJ calls. He loves, I know it's 07, but he loves Max Afinogenov sliding across the ice against the Rangers, right? Like that goal. So he loves that. So I'm very much into it for sure. It should be a really cool night. And who would have thought when they were putting this together that they'd be in this position in a really important game against the Canadians, right? I mean, like it makes it for a really fantastic atmosphere. I got to tell you guys, I was on Toronto radio today. And they were kind of like making fun of it. Like, oh, my God, you guys are honoring a team that went to the conference finals? You know, what are you doing? And I said, well, obviously they've never won a cup. But it's also the connection this team has, you know, with this fan base. I think there is a special connection because the way that they played the game and how exciting they were. And it was super cool back then, obviously. And I'm looking forward to it tonight.
Who was Toronto to talk?
Exactly.
When was
I don't know if they're honoring teams, though. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
They haven't been to the conference finals that recently.
Exactly. I get it. But they were cool about it. I was out with my guy Carlo Koliakovo. You know, he played for the Sabres. He'll be doing something with the game tonight over in Canada on the Canadian side actually. And he actually said, like, wait a minute, you guys are honoring this team, and they only went to the conference finals, only in Buffalo, right? And I'm like, well,
wow.
What are you supposed to do in Buffalo? You know, they were a few minutes away, basically, from going to the Cup. I don't know.
Yeah. I like him, but now I'm questioning myself.
Yeah,
that's harsh.
I'm glad. What were you on at 8:00? Because I was on Sportsnet at 8:00 this morning.
Ooh, I was on at 9.
I just would love the idea of somebody riding around Toronto like a snowy commute and like,
yes.
Oh, but I don't want to hear about Buffalo and flipping over to the other one.
Wait till they find out that I turned it down today. You could have had all 3 of us there for a minute. Anyway, so what's new with the Bills today, Sal?
The injury report has been finalized for the week, so their game designations have come out. I don't think there's anything surprising from what we thought earlier in the week, what we saw. Only 2 players have been ruled out, Maxwell Hairston and Jordan Poyer. No surprise there. The big name we've been watching is Ty Johnson. He did practice today in a limited capacity. Sean McDermott, when I asked him if Ty would practice today, he said we're going to get a look at him. That's the way he phrased it. And then he's listed as questionable for the game. Also, Terrell Bernard listed as questionable. I guess not a surprise. That's kind of where it's been. He's been limited. He's been dealing with the calf injury for a few weeks. He didn't play last week in the playoff game. And then the three guys on IR do have to have designations. So all three of them, Ed Oliver, Damar Hamlin, and Curtis Samuel, are all listed as questionable. I do think it's notable that Hamlin and Samuel were full participants in practice all week, whereas Ed Oliver's been a limited participant in practice all week.
How important is Bernard? For a while, he was like, he'd be on the injury report. Last year, I'm thinking, or even the year before, like he's big plays. This year against Miami is another one. And then we got to a point where maybe like he was not the same, or we thought maybe Thompson.
And they were better with Shaq Thompson on the field.
Yeah. Like how important, how has that changed if it has?
He's an important depth piece now is what he is. That's the way I would say it. If something, Shaq's been dealing with the neck injury. He's off, he's playing. He's not even on the injury report. He's just listed as a limited participant, red non-contact. But if something were to happen to Shaq Thompson, having Terrell Bernard ready to go would be great. And if he doesn't play, then you're turning to Joe Andreessen. And no disrespect to Joe, but I think you'd rather have, Terrell Bernard in that spot, who's been in these big games, and he's made these big plays for sure. The other part of it is the back end of the linebacker spot is interesting because I know this is going to sound crazy. I could make the argument that Terrell Bernard, because of his role as only a backup middle linebacker, due to what Bulldog said is right about Shaq Thompson, you need Balen Spector active because he's actually a guy to fill in for special teams, and that's not what Bernard would do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I know that sounds crazy. Oh, you'd rather have Balen Spector. No, I mean, in a vacuum, of course you'd rather have Terrell Bernard, but he's not playing special teams, and because of his injury, you need Balen Spector to be able to play special teams.
Yeah. What do you suppose? You mentioned Hamlin being a full participant all week along with Samuel. Is he a plug-and-play option for Jordan Poyer? Or what do you think they're going to do there? Because we saw Hancock have a rough ride. We talked about this on Monday. Right? Maybe they coach him up and trust him like he's next man up. But Hamlin obviously has experience, but I'm not sure. It's certainly not in a Poyer-type role. So I wonder about he and Bishop as a tandem and like how that might work. What do you think they're going to do with Poyer out?
I really go back and forth on this. I do think he's an option. I keep leaning towards them not doing that. To me, it's either Hancock or Cam Lewis. And that comes down to what you just said. Are they just going to coach up Jordan Hancock and say, look, you're getting all the reps with this week, kid. You'll be fine. Yeah, things didn't go smoothly last week. That's because he's playing a different role most of the week in practice. He's not the starting guy. He's not getting those reps next to Cole. You give him the reps next to Cole all week. Granted, a shorter week. I get it. They're much more comfortable with where that would be. To me, I think I would feel more comfortable knowing Cam Lewis is back there. He's been in these spots before. He would fill more of that Jordan Poyer type of role because he's a dime safety. He plays in the box a lot. He'll be fine against the run. He's a tough SOB. We know that about Cam Lewis. Not that Jordan Hancock isn't, but Cam Lewis, to me, can really just kind of fill that whole role. It is interesting to me. This is a different kind of team than, Jacksonville, and they run a lot. They dump the ball down a lot. His average depth of target, Bo Nix, is not very high. So you're going to need someone to come up and make tackles from that spot. You don't necessarily need a center fielder. That's Cole Bishop's role anyway. Whoever plays safety here, their job is going to be to make sure that they are very sure at tackling and making sure that they're just buttoned up in the coverage spot.
What's the latest at receiver, Sal? So we know about the two knee injuries, Gabe Davis and Tyrell Shavers. Jeremy made an interesting point on Twitter, at least. I'm sure he talked about it at wide receiver. They're very thin, and we all know, it's two more guys out. It's been such the topic for a long time with the Bills. But they do still have their, A-tier players. You could maybe say that. Shavers, I know, had some other responsibilities. But how does it sort of break down for you? And bottom line, how bad a shape are they in? Maybe it's not as bad as it looks if you just sort of focus on how many guys they've lost.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's hard to wrap your head around because it doesn't show up in numbers. But Tyrell Shavers is such a big part of what they do in the run game. That's where the massive loss comes from. That's a really big loss for them. I just would ask anybody to go watch the Pittsburgh Steelers game, and you'll see what Tyrell Shavers did, what he means to this team in the run game. And the reason why you say, well, why can't someone else do that? Well, maybe, but first of all, you don't have a wide receiver on the team. Can Keon Coleman? Sure, he's a physical guy, and he got a little physical last year. You love to see it, but I don't know if you can really rely on Keon Coleman to be digging guys out of the inside in the tackle box like that, right? The other thing is, because he's a receiver, the other team, the defense, has to kind of play different personnel. And when they go a little lighter and they can't go base, that's where you get the advantage of a guy like Tyrell Shavers, who's a really good blocker. Because I would tell you that maybe naturally you could just put Jackson Hawes out there and say, okay, we're going to use you more, and you're going to be the extra guy because he can catch a pass. Well, now teams are going to put, a bigger body on the field because it's a tight end maybe. It's all just a kind of a cat and mouse kind of game. And then as far as Gabe Davis is concerned, Gabe's the same way. He can be a really good blocker in the run game. But, man, I just rewatched the Jacksonville game. There's a play, second quarter, it's like 3rd and 4, and Josh just whips one to the sidelines, and Gabe makes a really nice catch right at the first down marker, tight coverage, and Tony Romo goes, you don't see that with a lot of guys. That's trust. That's trust in your receiver, and that's what you're losing in a Gabe Davis. Does Josh Allen trust these other guys to make those throws in those critical moments that you just got to get it to a certain spot and make that play?
Well, that's the whole point with Coleman, right? That's the opposite almost, if that's not going too far. And after that play is maybe when Nance and Romo mentioned, the playoff game in Kansas City and what Davis has done in his career. Is there it'd be a great story, a Keon Coleman sort of a redemption story here,
maybe.
arc?
Yeah, I wonder. I saw it alluded to that McDermott was asked about that to some extent. Do you happen to know what he shared as far as his feelings? Because Allen trusting him doesn't have to be the same as the organization's trust in him, right? The organization's mad at him because he's not in meetings, and Allen could feel that and be bothered by that. But really, if Coleman can be where he needs to be on the field and catch the ball, that's really all Josh Allen. I'm oversimplifying it, but that's really all Josh Allen should need, right? Can I trust you to be where you're supposed to be and catch the ball?
100%. And that's what happened against Jacksonville in that one really nice hole shot that they had, right, where he caught it and he got down inside the 10-yard line. Really nice play by Keon. He did exactly what he's supposed to do, and then he caught the ball, and then he made a play after that, catching the ball, with his legs, which is nice. So I specifically asked Sean today on his radio spot with me about Keon Coleman, but he was also asked about it earlier in the week, and his answer to me and his answer earlier in the week was essentially the same, which is, he's got to step up like everybody else, basically, and this is a time that you need people to step up, and Sean's not going to go out of his way to make it about Keon Coleman. You know what I mean? He's not going to do that. He just doesn't. But asking him specifically, no doubt. I've been saying it all week too. We all recognize it. It's time for Keon Coleman to put his big boy pants on, become a professional receiver, and show up in a big game. That's what needs to happen here. As a second-year quarterback, his team needs him, and he needs to respond. Now, that said, I do think Curtis Samuel, very high likelihood that he's going to be activated. And then Mecole Hardman could very well play. I wonder if the Bills do have some sort of pivot here to, okay, we're going to have more speed on the field. Let's use that a little bit, and let's see how we can kind of try that out for a spin a little bit. And you don't want to live with Josh Allen dropping back against this team all the time and throwing the ball. It's not what I'm saying, but maybe it does throw a little wrinkle into what they've been doing.
I was looking at the props today, talking with Matt Collar on his FanDuel-sponsored Purple Insider podcast, and so we kind of went through it. It seems like maybe a little bit of a, quote, public bet. Sam will spank me tomorrow if I tell him I like this maybe. But Cook and R.J. Harvey receiving yards are both in the teens. I think Denver really loves to throw the ball to running backs. Right. And I don't know if No Ty Johnson, is that something – it didn't happen last week, I guess, but just you kind of need one good play to win a bet like that. And also for this, while we're on the subject of receiving yards and, prop bets, Brandon Cooks last week – I thought it was kind of a bad sign. There have been examples through the year where somebody we like, Shavers, was this for a minute. Oh, wow, over 10.5 yards? Duh. But then he doesn't catch a pass. And Cooks last week was, I think, 18.5 yards. Right. And I don't know what he did before the long one late, but you got that, and you had that against Philadelphia a couple times too. This week, the number is closer to 30 on Cooks, but it's still in the 20s. It's not higher than that. So any thoughts on any of those ideas? Cook, Harvey, and then Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos are going to try to probably do that same thing, throw the ball to their running backs a little bit. They don't run the ball particularly well. If you remember last year, they abandoned the run game pretty early on. That's been a talk in Denver this week. Like, why did Sean Payton abandon the run game? He could have stuck with it, and then the game got out of hand. But he does that all the time. I expect him to do it in this game if his team is down at all, because I believe Bo Nix led the league in pass attempts this year, right?
Yep.
Brandon Cooks has just become that guy that the Bills are going to take shots to. The question is, can they hook up on those shots? I think the Brandon Cooks one sounds juicy to me because they're going to try it. I mean, and the question is he going to catch the ball, and can they be on the same page? They're going to make a play like that. Patrick Surtain is on the other side. We talked about how, okay, who's he going to lock up, or is he going to try to lock up? You have other places to go. So if they do decide to put him a little bit more on Brandon Cooks, that'll be a little bit tougher. But at the same time, they play a lot of man-to-man defense, right? And I think because of that, Josh Allen will try to find a matchup, could be anyone, and that could be the running back as well, and say, okay, well, if you're playing man-to-man, I'm going to find the one thing that I like, and I'm going to go to it.
How do you feel about the pass rush coming into this game, Sal? Bosa had a not a great outing. He did get a pressure on Lawrence on the game-winning, game-sealing interception anyway, but I think he even assessed his own performance as being subpar or something to that effect. And I feel like Nix is did we talk about this already? Right, like he'll get out of there. Right, he's someone who will likes to create out of structure. So I wonder how they're going to attack him in the pocket.
Yeah, and Bosa he was talking about his overall game, but he's really mainly talking about not setting the edge well enough. I mean, they got out on the edge a little bit, and I think the Broncos will try to do the same thing. So the Broncos give up not many sacks. The Bills don't sack the quarterback very well. I just think this is a game where don't try to be who you're not. Don't keep banging your head against the wall and trying to do something that's not going to work. I think the Bills' best play in this game is contain him. Do a cage rush. Stay on the outside. Therefore, you do have outside contain. You're going to contain the outside on a running play, and then you also try to contain Bo Nix. They used a spy on Bo Nix last year in the playoff game. That was Matt Milano. Do you remember? There was an early third down where Milano got credit for a sack because he just stayed with Bo Nix, strung him out to the outside. Bo couldn't make a play. So I think that's should be the plan this week, which is, okay, yeah, if you can get home, you can get home. Chances are against this offensive line, against this quarterback, it's going to be pretty tough. So just make sure he stays in the pocket and he doesn't get around, start moving around and get out there and start making plays with his legs plus his arm.
Any sense on Ty Johnson? We're playing it. He's one of these guys that are questionable, limited like this. Do you have any sense on him?
Just feels like it might be a little too much to ask given he was only limited today. And again, Sean's phrasing was we're going to get a look at him. So that kind of sounds to me like, yeah, if he looks great, we'll play him. But otherwise, we're just going to take a look and see, almost like confirming to themselves that he can't play. But I don't know. That would be the way I look at it. And then, if that's the case, you're looking at Frank Gore being elevated. Again, it's got to be by tomorrow. Now, tomorrow at 4, I'll just throw this out there so everybody when it comes up, I don't know the exact timing of the operation here. And the reason I say that is they have to file their elevations and activations with the league by 4 p.m. tomorrow. But the Bills that's Eastern. The Bills will be on a plane tomorrow at that time. Oh. So I don't know if the team will have a scheduled tweet or if they'll wait till they land and then let everybody know what they did 2 hours ago, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Do it before they take off. I don't know how that will all go down.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes the Wi-Fi doesn't work that well on airplanes. You have somebody back here who's in charge of it.
Yes, they would basically have somebody do that. Now, typically on a Sunday game with Saturday travel, typically the team is in the city they're going to by 4 p.m. Eastern, and then they just do it when they land. They just tell you because that's the timing of it. That's not the case this week. You guys know the Bills played every game except for one in the Eastern time zone this year, and the only one they didn't was a night game in Houston, which was in the Central time zone. So this never came into play this year.
Right.
And the Bills usually don't have a layover. or have to connect
That's
through
correct,
Nashville
Mike.
or
Yeah,
something.
that's right. Yeah, Mike.
They could just expect to get there.
You fly direct, don't you?
They could expect to get there on time.
That's how that goes.
That's nice, isn't it? They don't have to
very nice.
bounce to Atlanta or something. Just, hopefully. All right. One more for me, Sal. Any John Harbaugh to the Giants thoughts? Like, I think if I were a Giants fan, I'd probably love it because I'm going to just usually like whatever my team, somebody new comes in. Credibility is strong here, but I don't know. I mean, I think outside of being a fan, he's in his mid-60s, and I feel like a lot of the Ravens' shortcomings were kind of coaching related, just decisions, and I don't know. As big of a Lamar Jackson fan as I am, sometimes I'd watch the Ravens and think they should never lose a game with what his talent was. A little bit different this year after he got hurt. So how excited should we be as, if we're Giants fans or just in general, how optimistic would you be for the Giants?
I kind of think you nailed it. I heard you talk about this earlier. I agree 100%, which is if you're a fan, you're like, okay. And the reason is, and I think Bulldog said this, right? You guys, I thought were really on this earlier, which is what John Harbaugh does to the Giants is bring respectability, right? You got a guy that won a Super Bowl early on, and everybody in the football world kind of respects what he's done. He came from special teams, as a coordinator. He really kind of worked his way to being a Super Bowl coach and then beyond, and all the being in contention every year. I think the respectability part is a big deal for any fan of a New York Giants. But there's somebody in the media sitting on the radio today in WFAN going, yeah, but has he really done anything lately? Like, you know what I mean? And then some the fans are going to be like, what are you talking about? Have you seen the coaches we've had, through here, and they haven't done anything? Are you kidding me? You're just a hater. But you're right. The point is right, which is, yeah, they've done a nice job. I have a lot of reverence for the Ravens organization, the way they've run things, because they've been so consistent, and they have one of these really, traditional, they have a lot of alignment between their owner and their GM and their head coach, and they've done it right. But at the same time, if he doesn't get that early Super Bowl, I don't know if he's around here this long, because it has not gone particularly well when they've gotten into the big games.
Nice to win one early. Always nice to get one early. Right. Then you can live off that for a long time.
Did you ever read there was an article written, I don't remember it. It was maybe 10 years ago now. It's crazy. It was great. You can go find this. And somebody, I don't know if it was Sports Illustrated who it was, said, what if we took some of the best quarterbacks ever and reverse their career timeline on what we would think about them? So, for example, instead of Elway winning Super Bowls his last 2 years in the league, what if he won his first 2 years in the league, and what we would think about him as his career went on, instead of, he'll never win one, he's never been able to. What if Brady never won one early and then only won late? Well, I guess he did winning late.
He did both.
He won in Tampa.
He did everything, right.
But at the same time, right? I mean, I just think that's really interesting.
No, I love that kind of thing, that sort of thought experiment. With Elway, it would be like he hung around too long, clearly.
Yeah.
Elway.
Right.
That's exactly what they would have said. That's right.
All right. Have a great trip, Sal. We'll talk probably Monday will be the next time.
You got it, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, there's our Sal Capaccio on the Western Hotline. His appearances are brought to you by New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? Look, Mike said no Sal tomorrow because he's on that plane going to Denver, so we won't be able to fit him into our show tomorrow.
Without John Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin, I count 4 active coaches. Well, Harbaugh's going to, become active again. So I'm leaving him out. In jobs right now, I got 4 guys who've won Super Bowls. That's as many as I can think of. Sirianni, that's incredible. Andy Reid, McVay, and Peyton.
Right.
Can you think of anybody else? Mike McCarthy, Pete Carroll. No, he's not active. No. He's out.
He's raising the flag in Seattle.
Oh, yeah?
Saturday night, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Is he still a consultant there?
He's the 12th man or whatever. They're bringing him back for that.
The 12s.
Yeah.
They're going to love that. John Fox. No, John Fox did not win. It was Kubiak in Denver. But he doesn't count either.
No. No, I don't think I think that's it.
Arians, right? Tampa? He's not
right. No,
active?
He's not anywhere.
Joe Gibbs?
Oh, wait. Did you say you said McVay?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Okay. Yeah.
Joe Gibbs?
I don't even know if he's still active in NASCAR, honestly.
What happened to Joe Gibbs?
I don't know. Don't know what he's doing. Don't know what he's up to.
Lost track of him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it.
4. All right. Bills Broncos Saturday 4:30. I mean, less than 48 hours. to this one. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Special night for the Sabres, hosting Montreal and also welcoming back most players from the 05-06 team. We talked to Jay McKee earlier. It was really nice. If you missed it, check it out on the Odyssey app. Pre-game for tonight's game, 6 o'clock with Paul Hamilton. We'll be right back. This is WGR.
head to Denver for the divisional round on Saturday versus the Broncos. Max Hairston and Jordan Poyer are the players who have been ruled out, while 5 players are questionable. Terrell Bernard, DeMar Hamlin, Ty Johnson, Ed Oliver, and Curtis Samuel. And some injury report notes from today. Johnson was upgraded to a limited participant after not practicing much of this week. And then Samuel, he finishes out the week being a full participant in all 3 days. The Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-million. Some notes from around the rest of the league. We are still waiting on official word, but all signs do point to John Harbaugh taking the New York Giants head coaching job and being the first domino to fall on that front. It is expected to be a 5-year deal. And then some injury notes. Texans wide receiver Nico Collins, he does remain in concussion protocol, while their opponent for this weekend, New England, their cornerback Christian Gonzalez was a full participant today as he looks to clear concussion protocol. And the Sabres, they are in action tonight. It is 05-06, a reunion night, a team that did make the conference finals 20 years ago. Game time is at 7, pregame is at 6. Sabres do host Montreal. And then some lineup notes tonight. No Michael Kesselring for Josh Norris is day to day after leaving yesterday's game early. And with that, the team has called up Konsta Helenius, the team's first-round pick in 2024 from Rochester. And then 9 other games tonight in the NHL, some notables. Also at 7, the Penguins host the Flyers. At 8, the Bruins have the Kraken in town. 9 p.m. sees the Islanders out west versus the Oilers. Then at 9:30, the Maple Leafs, they are in the desert to take on Las Vegas. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
He's a little bit unusual in this regard. He's stout enough and willing enough that he'll run between the tackles. But what makes him different in my book is that when he does get out, he's got sprinter speed. So to me, as great as Josh Allen, this sounds crazy, as great as he is, if I'm running that defense, it all starts with James Cook.
Take Dave Logan, the play-by-play announcer for the Broncos. The Bills tied the Broncos in 1960, their first ever tie. No overtime in those days, Bulldog. You probably watched this game. 38-38. Wow. I bet that was one where the play-by-play, I don't think it was this guy probably, but those guys would have been like, you hate to see someone not have a chance to win this game. 38-all. The Bills were up 38-7. How come no one talks about this? 38-7. And the game ended 38-all. Denver tying it up late on a 19-yard field goal.
Because you don't get credit for the greatest comeback in NFL history if you end up tied.
I guess.
Because you got to come all the way back and win. Come back to tie.
What's the Oilers' comeback? That's 32 points to win.
35-3 eventually, yeah.
But that game also ended regulation 38-38, like this one.
Good point.
But it's still 32 points.
Right, one more. Yeah.
One more. I happen to have looked up Bills ties history today because I found a fabulous Sabres tie that I wanted to mention. And I wanted to know if the Bills ever finished a game tied 7-7. At least it's a football number.
Sure.
They never have. Their lowest scoring tie of 8 in franchise history is 14-14 against Miami in 1968. The Sabres tied the Canadiens on
October 26th.
1982.
I didn't know the year, but I knew that I remembered October 26th because I didn't see it immediately on your homemade, handwritten
you got this?
Box
Switch?
score.
You see it? Oh, I got the thumbs up. This is my work when I was 10. Chronicling, I did this already like a month ago, right? Chronicling every Sabres game. And look at this game. It's 5-5 after 1. This actually, I mean, I felt like I was probably accurate with this when I was 10 years old, but I did check it, and it's true. This game ended, the first period ended 5-5 against Montreal in the Forum.
Coaches hated this game.
The coaches quit after this game.
They couldn't stand this game.
They both quit because it was that horrible. 5-5 after 1.
What you just say there? 82?
Yeah.
So that's Scotty with the Sabres by then,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who Montreal's guy would have been.
I want to guess Jean Perron.
Okay.
Bob Berry is
take
the
it.
answer.
Okay.
I was wrong. Bob Berry. 5 letters.
I don't remember either of those men.
No?
No.
Jean Perron, which sounds a fun name, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's their coach in the finals, one of those Calgary series, maybe?
I don't know.
Or is it Burns? Burns? 5 letters. So this game, let's have this tonight. The Sabres score 3 goals in the first 5:25. 3-0. Montreal rips off 3 in a row, 3-3. Buffalo, Savard, McKenna, 5-3. Montreal, Picard, Shutt, 5-5. These last 3 goals are within a minute. Imagine watching a game like this. Sabres up 3-0. Oh, this game's over. I mean, maybe not over. They kind of make it interesting, don't they?
Not in that era, but
no,
yeah.
not in that era, but tonight.
Right? Okay, sure. 3-0.
We're rolling. Oh, 3-3. Whoops, we're dead. 5-3 by the end of the 2:07 to go in the first period.
Oh, good bounce back there after getting
so important.
Yeah,
goals. We know goals late in the period are so important. They're worth more than 1 goal. Not really. 5-3. Montreal. A minute later, it's 5-5. Oh, now we're dead because they have the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So second period, we were right. Montreal 2 more. 7-5. Third period, 6:22 left. 7-5. What happened? It was all so easy. Sealing Hamel. Lindy Ruff with an assist on the goal that ties this game 7-7. Oh, man, I'd love to go back and watch it. Not knowing what happens. I'd love to watch this game without even knowing what happens. This is 82. So that's the same year as the sweep of the Canadiens in the 83
Bob
playoffs.
Sauvé up there. Yeah, right.
And I bet we walked into that series like, oh, these teams played a 7-7 game.
Right.
Watch out. Montreal did not score a goal in either of the first 2 games. We got that fixed. Anyway, thanks for riding with me on that one. Are you dabbling at all in any of the 2005-06 stuff coming out from the arena?
I
Paul is on it.
I saw a picture of Lindy and Ryan Miller talking in the locker room. I saw Teppo and
Kodalik, Talinder.
The tweet that I saw with Teppo was him saying that Kekalainen being the Sabres GM is a big deal in Finland, which is cool.
Paul had that, yeah.
Yeah. I've not seen the other guys you just mentioned.
No.
That's the extent of what I've seen so far. I did see one picture that I wasn't sure who they were.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to know.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago now. I feel like with 45
Is it like
minutes.
a group shot?
No, it's like 4 people in the shot, and there was definitely one person in there. I was just like, I'm not really sure who that is, and I didn't see a caption, it wasn't explained. And I didn't spend a lot of time with it. We were in the middle of a segment. I just sort of breezed by, but I'm like, I don't recognize that guy.
If they had a team shot, it would be like when we get the NFL coaches picture, the annual, all the coaches at the owners' meetings, and you go through and you try to guess who everybody is. Like Dumont looks very different than he did when he was playing here. No offense. We all get older.
I mean, it's been 20 years.
So. Bald gray beard.
Yeah. All right.
Dumont, who everybody loved, right? I mean, that guy.
Yes.
I remember, Dumont goes back to 01.
That's right. He was the Gilmore trade.
Gilmore trade, Grosek.
Mm-hmm.
And Dumont scores in that Game 7, I think, against Pittsburgh, I want to say. Yeah, he was a cool player for several years here. Sad to see him go. Last night, sorry, I'm going to indulge myself again. Yesterday, if you were listening, we talked about Ottawa for a minute, how their season has kind of fallen apart. And I joked about thinking about Sneaky Joe years ago with his fantasy team that had all the Browns on it. And Bulldog one day goes, you know what your team's problem is? Too many Browns. And that seemed just absolutely dead-on analysis. You don't want to have too many Browns.
Right.
Or even any Browns. And it hasn't really changed.
No, it's still the same. Yeah.
So I'm looking at my I have one fantasy hockey team, and it's got 4 Senators on it. Like, oh, guess what? Too many Senators. Cousins, Kachuk, Sanderson, Shabbat. Literally last night, the 4 guys I mentioned scored consecutive goals for Ottawa.
They played the right team.
Yeah, I see that. That I would have liked to know.
Right.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I should have filled you in because I was watching the Rangers on Saturday afternoon when they got 10 hung on them by the Bruins.
I didn't know that.
10!
I missed that.
In 2026.
It serves me. Was it 7? Was it 10-10 like this?
No, they got just hammered. Wow.
It serves me right for not following the league more closely. That I didn't know that, because maybe I would have had the instinct that you sometimes have, which you know what I could do?
I should
I
double
could
up
run a parlay
right
on these 4 guys that they're all going to score. It wouldn't even have to be in order like it was. That would have been rich. I mean, that's betting. So the next day, like, oh, I wish I had done that. But come on, I named 4 guys on Ottawa,
and they all scored.
2 are defensemen
in a row,
and they all scored in a row.
Yeah.
Should I try that tonight?
You can't go back to that well
That's
now.
right. No, you're right.
The Rangers are spiraling badly. This picture, I'm a jerk. It's Max and it's Tallinder is who I didn't. He had glasses on and I didn't realize. But I blew through it quickly. But it's Tallinder who I didn't recognize.
All right.
I just found it anyway.
Tallinder, by the way, did not play for the Leafs. If he did, it was in the preseason. But it's Buffalo and Jersey.
All right, Jersey. I remember Jersey.
And then back here for 1 year.
Okay.
13-14.
Yeah. They wanted him to fix Tyler Myers.
Did he?
No. They traded Tyler Myers.
Guy's still playing, though.
He's still, he was just here on Monday. Myers.
It's wild that.
What was the one nickname? Giraffe? Crazy Giraffe?
Chaos.
Chaos Giraffe?
Yeah.
Giraffe of Chaos.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
It's wild with how today we've been feeling nostalgic about that Sabres team from 20 years ago. We talked to Jay McKee. We're talking about different guys and everything. I mean, their coach was the same coach as the current coach, which is, I mean, he left obviously, but
right.
It's kind of really cool that they all come back. You mentioned Ryan Miller and Lindy in the locker room. They all come back and it's their coach who's literally coaching the team.
Right.
Pretty crazy. I guess this is game 1902 now for Lindy tonight in his career. We'll have pregame at 6 o'clock. Paul Hamilton will join us. Paul has been hanging out with the alums this afternoon. We'll talk about last night's win as well. Josh Norris update. That's coming up in less than 20 minutes. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR. Been pretty much a hockey day. We did talk to Sal. He and the Bills off to Denver tomorrow, Saturday game. 2 Bills things, or football things, in the middle here before we get to Sabres pregame. And we'll have Teppo Numminen, Alesh Kodalik, and Henrik Talinder coming up on the pregame show like it's 20 years ago. Josh Allen, just another way of illustrating how amazing he's been on the ground in his career. Not that it's only that. 9 playoff rushing touchdowns is 10th all time. He had 2 last week to get to 9. Mm-hmm. He's tied with Larry Zonka, Jerome Bettis, Tony Dorsett, and fellow Bill legend Leonard Fournette. There are 9 players in NFL history that have 10 or more rushing touchdowns in the postseason. One is Thurman Thomas, who is tied for second with 16. Emmitt Smith is number 1.
And what is Emmitt's number?
19.
19.
And yards, Allen is 21st all time. With 1 rushing yard Saturday, he'll pass Dorsey Levens on the playoff list into the top 20. Emmitt is also number 1 on this list. Franco Harris, Thurman Thomas, of course, naturally, a lot of the same names. Who do you want in the other AFC game?
They make it to the Super Bowl. He gets 4 more rushing touchdowns between now and then.
Before the Super Bowl, even?
No, I'm saying including the Super Bowl. Like this game, the championship game, Super Bowl, he's at 13 by the time this year's over.
Okay.
I'm going to say.
Yep.
Who do I want in the other game?
And who do you like, maybe?
Can I get back to you?
Sure.
I really don't know yet. I think Houston.
I think Houston wins.
I think I want Houston.
I think Houston wins.
I think I want to play Houston. I know it was Davis Mills, and that should be included, but Stroud, what? I think it was just such a sideways day. Them not having a pivot for the pass rush was incredible. I just can't imagine that they get on the field with that team again and don't have a better idea of how to handle that. I mean, I know sometimes there is no plan for getting your ass kicked, right? If a guy's just beating you and beating the doors off you, you're in tough, and like that's. But they would have. I don't fear their offense at all, even with Nico Collins, if he's back by the time this happens. I think I would rather play Houston, and I think I like them in the game too, which is weird because, right, like what am I telling you, right? I'm telling you I just think New England is a better all-around team. Houston has got the one thing that I think they're incredible at, and I just can't believe I'm going to get my head kicked in twice in the same year by that.
Okay. Kind of last year, too. Different players, some different players, but, what was Allen in that game? 9 for 30?
Yeah.
Last year in Houston?
That's a good point.
I think Houston is the better team in the game on Sunday. Doesn't, of course, mean that they'll necessarily win. Collins probably misses, but maybe he comes back. We don't know.
I would have a lot more anxiety about Vrabel in an AFC title game in New England and Drake May.
Okay.
I just think May, the plays he made against the Bills here in the first matchup, I mean, you got a guy that's capable of that. That's a giant eraser. That just change. You nothing's going well. I'm struggling, whatever. And then here's this. Whoa! Look at that play. I can't believe he made that throw. I don't see Stroud doing that to me.
What a matchup that would be to talk about. We'll talk more about all of this tomorrow. Next, Sabres pregame. A few minutes with Paul Hamilton, and then on to 2006. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Thanks for listening. This is WGR.